Hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly live. Today we're going to talk about the 9 to 5 burnout, right? Why do we have this 9 to 5 burnout? Most of us, what we need to realize is that this 9 to 5 burnout is actually a symptom. I'm going to say that one more time. Our 9 to 5 burnout is a symptom of a bunch of causes, right? So what's the causes of excuse me, of this 9 to 5 burnout? So what I'm trying to say is that even though you're feeling this burnout right now, you may be going to work and hating it, and you look around and you're like, you know what, this is I don't want to be here. I don't like my job. I don't, there is this feeling of anxiety that overcomes you. You just don't even want to get in your car in the mornings. Those are all of the additional symptoms that we feel because we hate our 9 to 5, or we feel the burnout, and we just, just not a good feeling. So when we talk about the causes of this 9 to 5 burnout, one of the things that I always happens here is your job responsibilities. Think about what it is that you're doing. Are you happy with the job responsibilities that are given? Are they too much? Are they too little? Boredom can be a bad thing as well, because if you're bored in your job, guess what? You're not going to want to be there. You are going to be distracted by other things that are happening. So take a look at that job responsibilities. What does that look like for you? Lack of money. A lot of times we take these jobs that we're not happy in, and what we do is we say, oh, the commute's really close by, or I'll take it for $10,000 less, and maybe I'll get a promotion and I'll make that in the next 2 years. But essentially what happens is that you, under negotiating yourself, ends up being a symptom, right? The symptom ends up being this burnout that you have for your 9 to 5. So a lot of times people are like, it's okay, I'm going to take less money right now because of X, Y, and Z, which I always tell people, don't ever take less money than you deserve. You're never going to be happy with that job. Commute. Another reason people feel this 9 to 5 burnout is because of their commute. There's someone I used to work with who would commute from Delaware. Believe it or not, this person would commute about 2 hours every day from Delaware to Fairfax, Virginia. And what ended up happening is that this person actually ended up getting an apartment in Virginia, and they would, stay for 4 days, and then 3 days they would go home. Imagine the burnout that this person felt. But they had a senior position, and I guess they felt like, it was justifiable for them to make this money. But you could tell on their face that they were exhausted. They weren't happy with what they were doing. Their productivity wasn't as high. And even though they sacrificed that commute and came to work, and didn't see their family a week at a time, guess what? That company ended up laying this person off. And they laid them off at a time when this person had actually signed a lease for 2 years. Could you imagine that? So this burnout, this commute burnout, can actually bite you in the butt. All of these causes can bite you in the butt if you don't know how to manage it. Here's another reason why we have the burnout, right? Like I said, your symptom is the burnout. The symptom is this 9 to 5 burnout, but we're talking about the causes of them. What causes you to have that 9 to 5 burnout? We covered job responsibilities, right? Lack of it or a lot of it. We covered lack of money, you not getting paid enough. We talked about commute. What about your relationship with your manager or your boss? If you have a toxic person who's managing you, who here has a toxic person that they have worked with or have had to deal with in the past? Whether that's a toxic manager or a toxic coworker, guess what? You're not going to like your job. You're going to feel that burnout. You're not going to want to get in your car and get to work and perform at that A player level. You're not going to want to do that. Because when you go in, you're going to think about, my boss is going to say this, they're going to nitpick on me, they're going to say I'm 5 minutes late, they're going to talk about, my work from yesterday, and a whole list of things that are going to happen in your mind because you have this toxic manager and you have not fixed that relationship with them. What about the work environment? It might be too dark. It might be too cold in there. It might be too hot. Who here works at an office where the temperature is like never one level? And you're like, I hate working at this place. Can't they just get the temperature right? I've worked at a place like that. So that's another cause of you feeling this burnout from your 9 to 5. All of these things add up. Believe it or not, the burnout isn't because of the fact of the work that you're doing. It is these small micro pieces that all add up together that leads to this major burnout, and where you're just like, I give up. I don't care if I don't ever have to work. What else? Too much work, right? We talked about that. Sometimes we're given so much work that we don't know how to say no to. Who here has agreed to doing a lot of work, right? Responsibilities. Comment if you can, just engage with me and let me know. Have you ever accepted a lot more work than you could handle? You accepted it, but then guess what happened? You felt the burnout. That happens all the time because we're trying to impress our managers. We're trying to impress our CEOs. We're trying to impress, our team members by accepting a lot more work than we're capable of handling. Then we do a shitty job at it, excuse my language, because we all have 8 hours in a day. What happens? Those 8 hours are not enough. You go home, and then it trickles down to using time from your family, using time from your children. Then what happens? You have a bad relationship with your significant other now. Your children don't get to see you. Then you go to bed tired. You wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to go to this freaking job. Do you see what happened? The cause of it was accepting too much work. But who accepted it? You did. Because why? Because you wanted to impress A, B, C, and D. And maybe they would get impressed and maybe they won't. You don't know that. Accepting more than what we can handle most of the time backfires right on us. What else happens, right? What's another cause that leads to a 9 to 5 burnout? Being treated like a stepchild. HR, you don't have a good relationship with HR. They don't like you because maybe there was a performance, assessment that was written about you that didn't go too well. Maybe, your manager has written you up for some situations that have happened, or maybe your manager doesn't respect you because of your gender. Maybe, you're in these team meetings, your team members aren't really listening to what you have to say. So, all of that is a cause to your 9 to 5 burnout. So it isn't just one thing, it's all of these things that over the years, as you span your span of work, that you're in this job responsibility where you're doing all of this work, right? All of these little things that we talked about, your job responsibility isn't right. The lack of money, the commute is terrible. Your relationships with your boss or manager are not well. Your work environment sucks. What else? Too much work is given to you, or you've accepted because each time we accept that work, being treated like a stepchild. So all of these are some major causes of what? Your 9 to 5 burnout. But how do we fix this? How do we now take a look at this and say, how do I come out of this situation? Right? How do you come out of this situation? And part of that is that you first need to determine for yourself what your top 5 burnout causes are. I gave you a list. I said job responsibilities, too much of it or too little of it. Lack of money that you agreed on, the salary that they're paying you is not enough. Your commute, terrible commute. Your relationship with your boss or manager, or maybe your coworkers. What if you had a romantic relationship at work? And all of a sudden now there's a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a significant other relationship that you've had that's gone down the drain. Is that one of the causes of the burnout that you're feeling? What about being treated like a stepchild? So these are some of the reasons I've given you. What are the top 5 reasons of causes for your 9 to 5 that you can list? Remember that these causes are the reason you're feeling the anxiety. You're feeling the fear. You don't want to go into work. You don't want to log into Zoom. You don't have your camera on. You are not able to speak up in meetings. You want to leave the office as soon as you can. You're on your phone the entire time while you're working. These are all everything that happens. And why? Why is it that you're behaving in this way? What's causing it? So one of the first things we have to do is figure out our baseline of what is causing the symptom of a 9 to 5 burnout. So that's step 1, right? I'm going to write this down. Step 1, write down your 5 top causes of the burnout. And once you have done that, I would love for you to share it right here with us so we can understand and we can help each other out, and I can give you some feedback here. The second thing you need to do is for each cause that you wrote down, for the 5 total that you've written down, you can write more than that, but really try to identify the top 5. For each cause that you have written down, what you need to write down is, what is my solution to the cause of having this 9 to 5 burnout? So for example, right, if you're one of your causes of 9 to 5 burnout was lack of money. You're not making enough money at this work. Therefore, you have no interest in the work. Therefore, you don't care to build a relationship with your coworkers. Therefore, you don't care to have a conversation with your manager. Do you see how all of these causes then trickle up to you not liking your 9 to 5? So if we're talking about lack of money and you need to come up with this solution, what is your solution? I'll tell you your solution. Your solution number 1 is to get your resume together, build those interview skills, go find yourself another job that's paying you what you deserve. Because obviously, you accepting less money tells you psychologically that you are selling yourself, your skills, for a lot less than you deserve. Here's the thing, guys, right? We all have skills that we're selling to the job market. I have skills that I sell to the job market, and there's a buyer. You have skills that you're selling to your employer, and they're paying you for it. Now, if you feel like the trade is not fair, guess what? You're not going to be happy. And so part of that is, what is your solution, right? If the cause is lack of money, you want to make more money, then you better update your resume, get those interview skills intact, find a job that you know is within your skill level, and then go and accept it, and do not accept less money that you deserve. And you can go to salary.com. If you go to salary.com right now, you're going to know exactly how much money you should be making in the city and state that you live in, plus the position name. So you can find out and you can understand exactly how much money you should be making. Right? And the third thing we need to do is internalize. One of the things I always say is we can't always look external to everything else. You also have to understand, who am I as a person and what kind of a communicator am I? Right? And so the third thing that you need to do, the third step here, we talked about step 1, which is write down your top 5 causes of your symptom of a 9 to 5 burnout. Number 2, for each cause, you need to write down a solution so that you can understand your pathway of getting out of the situation. Because if you don't, guess what? You're going to be unhappy. Third, start communicating your causes with the right people without sounding too emotional. You need to stick to the facts. One of the biggest mistakes that individuals make is they start complaining. Oh, I don't like this. I just feel like, the temperature is just too high. I don't like it. I have to bring my sweater in. I don't want to leave my favorite sweater here at the office. And they just get into this rant of just complaint without a solution. People, when you are professionally working and you want to complain, you also need to provide the solution, right? If one of the causes of your 9-to-5 burnout is the temperature in your office because it's too cold or it's too hot and you can't focus to work, and that is exactly what you need to say. Don't beat around the bush. You say, hey manager, I come in at 9 a.m. The AC doesn't kick in until 12 p.m. Between 9 and 12 p.m. I cannot focus because it is so hot in here. I have a meeting that starts at 10 a.m. I am facilitating that meeting, and unfortunately, half the time, I am so distraught by the heat that I can't even focus, and I'm not able to give it my 100%. Therefore, it has an impact on my job. Do you know what's going to happen next? Because you spoke with facts and you gave metrics and you gave reasons as to how what is happening right now in the environment at the office is impacting your productivity, guess what? That AC is going to get fixed within 24 to 48 hours. Because when you are not productive, your company loses money. When you don't create, they don't make money. So it is to the advantage of your organization that you are at the top level of your productivity. And it is your job and your responsibility to communicate it in a way where you're not emotional, you're not whining, you're not sounding like a kindergartner. You are a professional who's using calm composure, the right body language, and you're saying, hey John, look, we've had this AC issue for the past 2 months. I am unable to perform my job, and it is messing with my productivity, right? We don't have to be angry. We don't have to be emotional. We don't have to create drama. We don't have to do any of that. Speak at the human level. Speak as if this person right there is someone who is going to understand you. Now, if they don't, you've done your job of communicating, right? You have done your job of communicating. Therefore, the next step for you is to then find your solution. Because if you're not getting the solution from your organization, you're not getting the solution from your manager, you're not getting it from a supervisor, then you have to take matters into your own hand and now find another opportunity where you are listened to. So again, I'm going to summarize this for those who just joined. Your 9-to-5 burnout is a symptom of a whole lot of causes. And those causes may be your job responsibility, a lot of work, or less of it, or not within your expert level. Lack of money, you're not making the money that you want, therefore you're not performing, therefore you hate your job, and that is causing you not to want to come to work. Your commute sucks, right? I've worked in Washington, D.C., I've had to catch the bus, and I'll tell you, I quickly changed that project because I did not want to go to D.C. when it was freezing cold and I had to stand at the bus stop to catch a darn bus that I paid $12 for. But if they had paid me more than six figures, or in the in the 200,000s, guess what? I would not have complained. I would have taken that cold weather. I would have happily paid the $12, but I didn't because my cause did not match the salary amount that I was getting paid. So there's this correlation that we have to also understand. There's a psychological correlation that happens here. Your relationship with your manager or boss is not good. A lot of times we could be making $200,000, $300,000. I don't care, $1 million. But if that relationship is not good, guess what? We all walk away. We will walk away with top dollar if that relationship's not good because no one wants to go insane. So that is a cause of your 9-to-5 burnout. Your work environment. Chairs are not good, desks are not good, you don't have enough privacy, they're not giving you screen privacy protector so you can check your email, there's too much noise, there's coworkers who are just like talking and they're like right in front of you, right? So what's the work environment like? So guys, again, there's causes that leads to our 9-to-5 burnout. Not being noticed at work. Or maybe you were in a romantic relationship with someone at work. And now that romantic relationship went sour. And now you're like, I hate this. I hate this job. I don't want to be here because I have to look at this ex whoever of mine, right? That happens a lot. So what are the causes of your 9-to-5 burnout? Then step 1 is to write down your top 5 causes. For each cause, write a solution. Number 3, then go ahead and communicate what those causes are to the right channels without being emotional and with and without sounding like you're whining. Facts, calm composure, calm language, with a smile on your face, letting them know that whatever these causes are, guess what? It is reducing your productivity. So this was your 9-to-5 burnout, your why you're in it. We talked about all the causes, and how to get out of it was all of your step-by-step solutions and how to get out of the situation that you're in. Let me know what you thought about this training. Let me know, comment below, write down your top 5 causes so I can help you understand them. If you don't know what your causes are, well, let's figure that out too, right? Let me know. I don't know. I can't figure it out. So thank you again for joining. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I appreciate you being here in this group. Take care and bye.